Taylor, by the way, you're gonna love this guy because he is with Audio Pros, and I know I'm supposed to give my introduction and everything else, but I just can't wait, man. Can't wait to talk to you. Entrepreneurs on Fuego, we are documenting the journey of amazing entrepreneurs such as Marcus Heatherly. And your wife calls you Featherly Heatherly?
She likes to say Featherly, yeah. That's her.
Well, this is Featherly Heatherly. All right, then we make the wife happy. Then we say that. Audio Pros, man. So you do voiceovers. You're a recording engineer. What else do you do with Audio Pro?
Well, Audio Pros is essentially, I've been in the recording business as a recording engineer for over 20 years. And one of the first recording studios that I worked at when I was fresh out of recording school was a studio called Aztec Studios in Phoenix. Mm-hmm. And mainly Aztec Studios at the time did radio commercials, but our big business was what's called message on hold and voiceover prompts. So for businesses that you call in and they put you on hold, there's a little bit of music playing and a nice announcer or female announcer voice that's given the spiel of the business. So a lot of people miss that marketing opportunity when it comes to their business by not having the proper voice branding, whether it be through a message on hold type of service or possibly, a lot of places like banks or hotels have those automated voices, and they're not computerized, they're actual recordings that are
so they go something detailed. Like, thank you for calling Hilton Hotels.
Exactly.
You have reached us during off-business hours.
Yes.
My manager is not here anymore. She was fired last week. So please leave a message or something like that, right? So, all right. That's what you do. Did you find, though, have you found that because of the fact that everybody's got a cell phone anymore and I'm talking for the smaller size businesses, that everybody's just walking around with a cell phone, that we have less need, if you will, for the type of service that you had at some point?
Yes, absolutely. We've seen not only technology change this area of media, but all areas of media, whether it's video production or audio production, music recording. Technology has made that more accessible to everyone, which in a lot of ways makes that less margin for profit, but the need is still there for larger organizations, especially that want to have a professional branding, and not everybody has access to the quality voice talent that we use. We work with some of the top voice talent at all the radio stations that you have here in Phoenix, so that's where that voice branding can really help larger businesses. But you're right in regards to there's a certain amount of technology that allows some of it to be done
and as technology changes, everybody and their mother is a videographer, right? Or a recording engineer.
Well, I got into recording engineer because, like I was telling you, I started off rapping as a kid and wanted to learn how to produce music, right? So I go to the studio at 15 years old and spend my $500 for 10 hours of studio time, and it turns out to be mixed by someone who had a studio but wasn't necessarily a trained engineer, let alone trained in the kind of music I was trying to do. So that bad experience, and it wasn't a bad experience, it was a growing experience, taught me that I wanted to learn how to be the one pressing the buttons and doing some of the technical stuff in that regards.
You have a talent for the type of work that you do. As an entrepreneur, though, you have to be able to see the changes in technology, the changes that are going to affect your business in a very direct way. The popularization or democratization, if you will, of technology that allows us to become recording engineers or videographers.
Exactly.
And so your service, how do you deal with that? I mean, because now with technology,
I embrace it. So one of the hats I wear is that I'm the recording instructor at Guitar Center Studios in Phoenix, and I do a lot of setup of home studios, whether they're setting up a studio for audio recording, maybe it's music, maybe it's a video production studio. So I try and always look at it as an opportunity to educate people in whatever they're trying to do. In fact, I do very little marketing. Most of my clientele is all completely word of mouth, because in anything that you're doing that's artistic related, the vibe that's between the people that you're working
Yeah.
with is always most important. And so I find that being a very patient person allows me to work with all types of people and work with whatever their needs are. In fact, I spoke with a gentleman this morning, one of my clients, who is a successful done marble work in high-end homes. We're talking, $25, $30 million homes all his life. And he was talking about how he never turned down smaller jobs just as a way to remind himself where we all come from. Most of us start from humble beginnings as we try and achieve our goals as
Sure.
entrepreneurs. And, there's just that mindset of, you may not make the most on that smaller job, but it's your attitude going into who you might help, where it might lead to, but even just the general courtesy of how you treat people. That smaller job, if you can provide what they're looking for, if you have the ability or the skills to provide what they're looking for, and it may not be as much of a profit margin, you should still try and provide that service, especially if what you do is a service.
Being inside that business, where do you see your business evolving to with technology changing so fast?
Well, what I've realized, having been in the voiceover production business and worked for large corporations and larger companies, that as the margin has dwindled with technology over the past 15 years, is most of the organizations that produce audio are just large sales organizations, and there's some person that's gouging you by taking a large chunk, and the actual person providing the service to you is not necessarily being compensated. And so I partnered with some people that we've both been in the business for a number of years, a lady by the name of Joan Olson and a company called Please Hold Promotions. She's been in the business on the writing and artistic side for approximately 20 years, and so we work together in a creative synergy kind of thing, with me producing the audio and her doing a lot of the creative writing and dealing with the voice talent
So
as well.
the art, what you're seeing is perhaps finding alliances with other people that are in the business so that you can move forward into the
Exactly.
future in a much more stronger synergistic way.
Yes, and I'm always trying to find new opportunities as far as other services that I can provide as an audio engineer, but right now I'm really focused on the voice business, because it's one of those things that everybody has a need for, whether they realize it or not. It may be a radio commercial, which is less and less in use, or it may be their voice services for their phone tree, if you will, especially for larger companies that have a lot of incoming calls, or as well as outbound calls that can be automated nowadays.
There's still that need.
Yeah, exactly.
There's still that need, and you fulfill that
Exactly.
that need. You're also a rapper.
Yes, I am.
How did that come about, man?
Well, just a love for music is really what got me into producing music and getting into rapping, and that's kind of how I became a studio engineer. But it's still something that I do actively. In fact,
Spit some for us, man.
You want to rap on?
Spit something for us.
Oh, let's see.
Anything you want.
If I could move you with a pen, would we still be friends? If I could touch you from a distance, would I meet resistance? If I could pierce your soul with the words I spoke, would you still not listen or be able to quote? If I could give you 1 minute, would you take the time? If I could give you answers, would you question my rhyme? If I could question in a rhyme, would you answer me back? If I could talk about shh, would you be bumping my track? If I could lie and still be a man, then tell me what would I be? If I could, then tell me what would I should I be? If I could, then tell me what would you do? If I was Christ, would you still practice voodoo? If I was hate, would you still love me? If I was peace, could war still stand above me? If I could give you tomorrow, would you sacrifice today? If I could, we all would live a different way.
Marcus Heatherly, baby, is in the house. Yeah, baby.
Thank you. Francisco. Appreciate it.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
what
man.
you're doing.
All right, man. Don't go anywhere. With that, we're out. That's beautiful, brother.